Welcome to Remnant 101 at the City on a Hill Church. I'm Associate Pastor Benji Lalayan. God's remnant understands that they can't be sad about leaving a world that is passing away. First verses that I'm going to read is in 2 Peter chapter 3. My dad read these verses a couple of times recently. 2 Peter 3 verses 10 through 13, which says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens will pass away with a great noise, and the elements will melt with fervent heat. Both the earth and the works that are in it will be burned up. Therefore, since all these things will be dissolved, what manner of persons ought you to be in holy conduct and godliness, looking for and hastening the coming of the day of God, because of which the heavens will be dissolved, being on fire, the elements will melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth in which righteousness dwells." And then one more quick verse I want to read in Colossians chapter 3, verse 2. This kind of sets the tone for what I want to talk about, where Paul said, "Set your mind on things above, not on things on the earth." And right there, you could also use some of the verses where Paul was saying things like pressing on toward the upward call, or where he says not to look at what is seen, but look at what is unseen, temporary versus eternal. I mean, this sounds like something that's so simple. I mean, don't be sad about leaving the world. And it can be simple once you're all in on it. But we do have to realize that there's a lot that goes into it, especially considering what the church has made everything about. And the reason for that is that doing this is another one of those things that takes vigilance. I talked about that recently because the church today has centered so much around love. People don't have a problem with holding on to connections with people and things that they hold dear to themselves, when the simple part is that Paul said to count all that as loss. And there are going to be things that pop up every day that the devil wants to return to our memory and make it hard for us to be okay with letting them go. And that is where we have to be vigilant and keep saying to ourselves that none of it matters in heaven, because it's all going to pass away. My dad's been saying lately that we have to truly believe that everything will be infinitely better in heaven. That will drive us to, as my dad said last week, make everything that we do all about bringing Jesus back, as opposed to just being hopeful about him returning in the future. But the hard part of that is that if there's anything at all that you have any reservation or sadness about leaving behind to go to heaven, then there's a small part of you that doesn't fully believe that everything will be better when Jesus returns and we go to heaven. I know that's hard to accept, but it's true. Fully believing that and acting upon that belief separates the remnant from the rest of the church, because that lack of belief in that is pulling people away from working to expedite the coming of Jesus. And the church today, focusing so much on love, is exacerbating that. This is why so many people sitting in churches are on their way to hell. Remember, Jesus used the word hate to tell people how to deal with every person that's close to them in order to be his disciple. That means that the love part can't happen until you've separated. And the love part is also a part of separation. My dad said that if you really love those people, you'll do whatever it takes to be a witness on this ark so that they at least have a chance of hopping on board with us. But whether they do or not, we have to stay separate. Meaning, counting everything on earth as loss is daily for us. Again, talking about vigilance. Speaking of which, remember where 2 Peter said that the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. Later it says to look for and hasten the coming of that day with holiness and godliness. Does that not sound like a command of vigilance? It even says that the earth and all of its works will be burned up. Does that not sound like a warning to shift our focus off of everything of this world and focus on expediting the day of the Lord? I mean, how can you do that if there's anything that you're sad about leaving behind in this world? I'm going to say another thing that my dad said. Don't fear missing out on anything. Fear missing out on heaven. Set your mind on things above, like I read in Colossians that Paul said. Paul also said in Philippians that he had not already obtained it, so he has to press on. You could say this is a message focused on vigilance, because that's what it's going to take to fight off the devil trying to get you to bring to your mind back the things that you're leaving behind. The remnant knows that once we've brought Jesus back, once we are in eternity with him, everything is infinitely better than anything that we used to care about. And we're going to excite ourselves about that, and we're going to do whatever it takes. God bless you.